Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a cinema. Please do remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Make it to the very end of the video to see where we place our cinema in the city. Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the largest, biggest and longest to make McDonald's that exists on YouTube. Buckle in. This is the amount of space required to make the cinema. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Begin by placing 4 white concrete in a row on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then place a glass block, glass pane, leave a gap, place a glass block, and then place 4 more white concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then place 3 red terracotta on top. 1, 2, 3. Extend to the left by 2. 1, 2. Up by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then left by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then extend down by 3. 1, 2, 3. Left by 2. 1, 2. And then join back down to where we first started. The end result will look like this. Kind of reminds me of a top hat. What we now want to do is extend up the glass blocks that we've placed, each by 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, including the pane, 1, 2. We also want to suspend an end rod in front of the center glass pane. We then want to place red terracotta across the top of the glass, splitting this build into different sections. We can fill the left and right sides in using red terracotta, but the top is a little bit more complicated. We will begin by placing a row of red terracotta along the base of the shape, but on the left side here we want to leave a gap, place a red terracotta, gap of 2, red terracotta, and then that leaves a natural gap. We want to fill all of these in using glass pane, and that will give us this. Then grab red concrete and place red concrete extending from this position here. We want to place 2, 1, 2. And then underneath, 1, 2. On the opposite side also, 1, 2, 1, 2. We then want to fill in between these in using block of iron, just like this. Then we want to add lanterns underneath the sign that we have made left and right of the door, just like this. Next, we want to add 2x2 painting. That is not a 2x2. We want to add 2x2 paintings to the center of each one of these walls. So here, guys, a 2x2 painting to the center of, like this. And we of course want the same on the opposite side as well. You know what? That will actually work just fine. Those are 2 great paintings. I'm also going to add flowers in front of the white concrete of the walls, just like this. Glow item frames, left and right of the block of iron of the sign, so sitting in front of the red concrete. And then next we are going to make the sign itself, so throw down a loom, open it up, place a white banner in there with some black dye. The first letter we want to make is C, so pale Dexter pattern, chief, base, that's C. Next is I, that's simply the pale pattern. Next is N, pale Dexter, pale Sinister, Ben. Next is E, so pale Dexter, Chief, Fess, Base. Next is M, so we start off with the inverted chevron pattern, place white dye in there, Chief indented, put the black die back in, Pale Dexter, and then Pale Sinister. Last but not least will be A. So Pale Dexter, Pale Sinister, Chief, Fess. We can then take our banners and starting on the left side of the block of iron, CINEMA. And that will give us cinema. Perfect. And then whilst we're out here, we're actually going to add a pavement in front of the cinema. This is the first 2 rows of the grid, and also including the 4 middle rows of the grid as well, extending in and under the glass of the entrance. We're simply removing and replacing whatever blocks we had with smooth stone. Next, we want to come to the right side of the build and extend the white concrete backwards by 12 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We then want to place red terracotta on top of the white concrete, extending up as high as the wall that we have at the front of the cinema. We then want to add an extra row inside of it, and then we want to extend the upper wall of the cinema backwards by the same amount as we did the white concrete and the previous layers of red terracotta. The end result will look like this. We then want to come to the opposite side of the build and do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Next, we want to come to the back of the build and simply connect it together left and right. White concrete at the bottom, red terracotta extending all the way up the rest of the build. This is a great time to replace the floor. Last step for the outside, I'm going to place leaves all the way around the edge of the cinema. This is pretty much just going to sit on the remaining white concrete portion of the grid. We don't want to cover up the pavement. With the entire outside of the cinema made, we can now head inside and begin work on the interior. The first thing we must do is split the cinema in half. Come to the front left hand corner of the build and place 1, 2, 3 cauldrons extending backwards. Then place a white concrete on the end, extend the white concrete inwards, 1, 2, 3. We then want to place a double oak door and then place white concrete extending all the way over to the right. Then extend the white concrete forwards towards the front of the build like so. And then we want to build up this wall with rows of red terracotta extending all the way up, around the door, across, just like this. The red terracotta can actually go as high as the ceiling itself, or the roof itself, I should say. We also want to add a ceiling level inside of the foyer of the cinema. So this is right here. We want to place a row of white concrete that extends from left to right, just like so. And then if we come up inside of this, we want to add black concrete powder to cover up the windows from the front. So from the front, we just want to see black. And then we can actually add the roof to the top of this. So we want to encase this, and it just makes it look a little bit more mysterious. I like the effect. We also want to add end rods above the double doors, and we want to add white carpet to the actual entrance. So just a 2x2 square like this, end rods above the door, and now we can work on the 2 shops. On the left side of the cinema, we want to place 2 red concrete, 1, 2, extending from this wall, with an oak trapdoor on the end. We then want to place a flower pot on one side of the counter and pointed dripstone on the other. We want to place item frames above the cauldrons, and inside of these a mixture of different ice cream options made with different colours of concrete powder, and a flower pot and pointed dripstone in the remaining 2. And then on the cauldrons we want to place brown carpet, pink carpet, and then yellow carpet. I think that it would also look better to extend the red terracotta across the front, just an additional row as well. We can preemptively do this on the opposite side also. So on this opposite side, we are first of all going to place a brewing stand along the counter space with a flower pot next to it. We then want to add a couple of item frames here on the right and place different potions inside of them. A lever above either the brewing stand or the pot and a tripwire hook above the other. We then want to place 1, 2 red concrete extending from the same point in the wall as we did on the opposite side with an oak trapdoor on the side of this. We can then place an item frame here, a flower pot, and that's pretty much it. With the foyer complete, we can actually head inside the large room here and we can work on the actual movie screen. But first, the seating. So left and right of these doors, we want to extend the white concrete forwards by 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, place red terracotta on top. We then want to extend the white concrete across to meet the wall on the left and right sides with polished blackstone stairs on the back row of white concrete and polished blackstone stairs in front of the white concrete as well. We then want to leave a gap of 1 in front of these seats and then add another row of them on both sides. And then lastly, we want to place polished blackstone stairs in between these sets of seats here, leaving a gap of 1. And then against this back wall, we want to place 2 note blocks extending in from both sides, light grey concrete in between them. We then want to stack 3 rows, 1, 2, 3, of black concrete powder. This will make up the speakers and the screen. We then want to add a ceiling to this room by placing a layer of red terracotta directly above the actual screen itself. And once you have completed the ceiling, you can actually head back into the actual cinema room itself, and you'll find that it's actually kind of like a perfect light level in here. Like, it just feels nice and atmospheric. If you wanted to, you could, in the ceiling, add a 2x2 square, line it up with the entrance, make sure that there's 2 blocks to the front, 2 blocks to the back, add some lamps into the actual ceiling, power them up, and then, last but not least, fill the rest of the roof in with red terracotta. And you may find that you like this look more, it's completely up to you, personal preference. And that is it for the tutorial, ladies and gentlemen, but you guys know the video isn't over yet. Now, we get to add the cinema into Mini City. You know what? The position for this is actually an easy one. I think that this is going to look excellent right next to Subway. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial. Please do remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I really do hope that you are enjoying building Mini City along with me. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.